Namaskar, friends. Once again, I am with you with a new topic. Today's topic is Swadeshi movement and early women freedom fighters. Swadeshi movement and early women freedom fighters. Friends, our freedom struggle was primarily dominated by men. We hear a great deal about many freedom fighters that played a significant role in the freedom struggle. However, women freedom fighters too uh, led from the front and emerged as game changers in the quest of independence. The rising tide of nationalism engulfed not only men but women too. Friends, 1905 is a landmark year in modern history, Indian modern history. The plan of partition of Bengal was announced by the British government on 19th July 1905. Even though Indians and particularly the people of Bengal had expressed their resentment against it. But Lord Curzon was well aware of the fact that Bengal united is a power, Bengal divided will pull in several different ways. The British rulers were alarmed at the growth of national solidarity of India and were anxious to thwart it. The British claimed administrative convenience, but Indians were convinced that the partition was designed to destroy not only Bengal nationalism but Indian nationalism as a whole. The partition of Bengal fostered a new spirit of patriotism. In September 1905, Rabindranath Tagore, the Nobel laureate of India, declared his strategy for observing Rakhi Bandhan on Partition Day. 16th October, and women participated in this. Partition Day was observed on 16th October 1905. Another rite observed on the Partition Day was Arandhan, suggested by Romendra Sundar Trivedi, asking women not to cook that day. People fasted and observed a day of national mourning. The widespread agitations that followed, known as Swadeshi and boycott movements of 1905 to 1908, seemed finally turned the tide against reform in the public eye. Swadeshi and boycott movements were closely interwoven with each other, and Swadeshi activists roundly the mendicant politics of petition and appeal and called for boycott of English clothes, salt, sugar, and English language, etc., which soon expanded to include government schools and colleges, courts, titles, government services, and Western education as such. The freedom fighters used to have deep faith in Ganges and Rakhi, Rakhi bands round the arms to bind all in one brotherhood, which had been cultivated since the Great Revolt of 1857. People walked barefoot to take a bath in holy Ganges and sang the famous song Vande Mataram. It was the most successful pre-Gandhian movements. Its chief architects were Arvindo Ghosh, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, and Lala Lajpat Rai. Swadeshi was an economic strategy aimed at removing British Empire from power and improving the economic conditions in India by following the principle of Swadeshi. Swadeshi means self-sufficiency. So it was, you can say, an economic strategy aimed at removing British Empire from power and improving the economic conditions in India by following the principle of Swadeshi. The salient feature of Swadeshi movement was partition of women in this peaceful struggle. A remarkable aspect of Swadeshi movement was the active participation of women in the struggle. The traditionally home-centered women of the urban middle class joined processions and picketing. Women's participation in this movement was enormous, and women became actively involved in this struggle. 500 women met at Jainokand village in the district of Murshidabad to protest against government's decision to partition Bengal, and they refused to use foreign goods including utensils and bangles. Romendra Sundar Trivedi, he has written a song. Roman Sundar Trivedi's Benga Lakshmir Brat Katha. Benga Lakshmir Brat Katha, the name is in Bengali, was recited before the meetings. So women organized Swadeshi fairs, and Sarla Devi Chodrani opened Lakshmir Bhandar, selling only indigenous articles, gave up use of foreign cloths and smashed their foreign bangles. So Rabindranath Tagore's elder sister Swarnamukhi Devi was one of the most distinguished literary figures of the time and a torch bearer in the tradition of women's writing in Bengal. She was active in social reform and national politics. She started Sakhi Samiti. Sakhi Samiti means, you can say, Society of Friends. So she started Sakhi Samiti in 1896 to assist helpless orphans and widows. The work of this association was to promote friendly intercourse among Indian women and foster in them the growth of an active and enlightened interest in the welfare of the country. She advocated education of women and remarriage of widows. Remarriage of widows and education of women. These were very difficult things in those days, in the 19th century. She also advocated removal of all kinds of atrocities against women. She was involved in social reform and nationalist politics, and along with Pandita Ramabai Rana De and Kadambini Gangopadhyay, she participated in annual sessions of Indian National Congress. Friends, Swadeshi movement also marked the formation of several women's organizations. Mahila Shilp Samiti 1906 to 1918 was inspired by the Swadeshi movement. Sarla Devi Chaudharani, daughter of Swarn Kumari Devi, was a great women social worker. She organized samitis to propagate Swadeshi message through speeches, discussions, songs and lectures. She was the founder of first women's organization in India at Allahabad in 1910. Sarla Devi toured herself towards all over North India, lecturing and setting up branches of Bharat Stri Mahamandal, which she declared to preserve the memory of the past, study history and science, master the regional languages, and strive for women's rights. As the secretary of this organization, she worked tirelessly and successfully and established branches of History Mahamandal in Delhi, Amritsar, Hyderabad, Kanpur, Karachi, Bankura, Hazaribagh, Midnapur and Calcutta. At the height of the movement, she was in Lahore, where she was full-time manager of Hindustan Press. So, she had interest in journalism also. Swadeshi and boycott movement gathered momentum in Bengal, and men and women took a vow not to use foreign goods, not to purchase articles from foreign merchants, and not to employ foreigners. Large number of women took part in movement, and they picketed shops selling foreign goods and made huge bonfires in which foreign cloth was burned. In several villages, when men were arrested or had to go underground, women moved into positions of leadership and continued the fight. Women helped in distributing revolutionary pamphlets and literature, in maintaining connections between different revolutionary leaders. Sister Nivedita was a great source of motivation to many young men and women. From 1902 onwards, she spoke and wrote against British policy in India. She attacked Lord Curzon for Universities Act in 1904 for his insulting the Indians by calling them untruthful in his convocation address in 1905, and for the partition of Bengal in 1905. So, Sister Nivedita was very much with Indian women, freedom fighters, and she supported Indian freedom fighters. According to Mrs. Ramsay MacDonald, who visited India with her husband, Swadeshi movement could not have succeeded without the female assistance. So according to Mrs. Ramsay MacDonald, Ramsay MacDonald visited India with her husband. She was of the opinion that Swadeshi movement could not have succeeded without the female assistance. Some of them do not know how to read and write, but in spite of this, Swadeshi movement was spreading in the places where one would hardly think there would be an opportunity for its growth. Friends, the movement expanded rapidly in Maharashtra under the leadership of Lokmanya Tilak, the Savarkar brothers, and several others. The boycott grew into a major force. Kesari, the Marathi newspaper of Lokmanya Tilak, wrote articles in support of Swadeshi movement. Kesari writes that if there is Swadeshi anywhere after Bengal, it is only in Maharashtra. Tilak says Maharashtra is much better in supporting the Swadeshi movement, as Maharashtrian women wear lugad, a wearing garment of Maharashtrian women. Ramabai Ranade and Pandita Ramabai took active part in the movement to boycott British cloth that Tilak organized in Maharashtra. Ramabai openly supported Tilak's extremist politics against the British rule. In 1904, Ramabai Ranade was elected president of Rashtriya Parishad National Conference, where women from all castes and different religions came together. Friends, in reverberations, where its reverberations were felt all over northern India and in the Punjab as well, in Madras and parts of Andhra. In Madras Presidency, a women's magazine was started by Kamala, wife of Indian Christian social reformer Stalinathan. A Brahmin widow was a Brahmin widow home where Brahmin widows may reside was founded in 1913 by Subba Lakshmi Ammal and a Mahila Seva Samaj in Mysore in 1913. Popular festivals were revived and given a new nationalist slant. The Ganpati Utsav was started by Tilak in Maharashtra in August 1893 and Shivaji Festival in 1895 for infusing sentiments of strength, cohesiveness and solidarity among the Hindus. The songs composed in this period were in the ensuing decades. Several women turned to literature and began writing songs, poems, stories, and novels, etc. Perhaps the most important for women writing was emphasis on Atma Shakti, self reliance, which implied self help, building of character, and resurrection of national dignity, honor, and confidence. By all accounts, women's participation in Swadeshi and boycott movements was impressive. The British government, on the other hand, let loose a reign of terror, and even women picketeers were lathi charged. Their meetings were forcibly dispersed, and political leaders were put to confinement without trial. Yet the movement continued unabated up to 1908. By 1908, the Swadeshi movement had been broken politically. For the first time, women came out from their homes and took active part in agitations and picketing. The most effective part of the movement was the emergence of powerful women. Tanika Sarkar quotes a collection of prescribed articles by nationalist leaders that make it quite clear that unless the vital principle of Shakti or power which women hold is released, the great act of sacrifice will not be complete. Mahatma Gandhi appealed to Indian women for taking part in freedom movement. He firmly and rightly said, if Indian women arose, no one could prevent the country's march to independence. I hope you enjoyed this short lecture. If so, once again I appeal to you, please like, comment and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.